Hi, in this video I will show you how to work with ArrayList. I have a project here where I have a driver class and animal class. So animal class has an integer height and it has a constructor to set the value for height. So in the driver class I have a method that is using enhanced for loop. And this method is accepting array list of animals and also a message to display to the user. It's displaying the message and then it's going through the array list and displaying information about each one of them. So enhanced for loop is very easy to use. On the right side you have to put your collection, so animals, and on the left side you have to declare what type it is, each item in the collection. What type is each item in the collection? In this case it's animal, and give it some name for the item that you're looking at right now. So I just called it item, and then I just want to retrieve the height value to see which animal is we're looking at the given moment. So in the main class I will declare array list. I have prepared something already, so I'll start with that. So I am creating array list of animals. Here in angular brackets I have to provide the type that I'm going to store in the array list. So in this case it's animal. And then I have to use constructor new array list, and again I'm providing the type that I'm storing in the array list. So then let's take a look what's happening next. I'm using method add on the array list animals to add new items, and here are two ways that you can add. You can instantiate the object right in the method parameter list right here. I'm using my constructor in animal class to instantiate the first the object and the first value, height. So another way, you can create the animal object and then pass it as argument to method add. So here I'm adding animal with height 9, and then at position 0 I'm adding animal with height 8. Let's see. Some methods that ArrayList has is to print size and contains. Let's see these two examples. So first I am checking if this array list contains animal that I created over here. So this animal. And I'm also here showing you how to use method size to get the size of the array. So right now we have only 2 items that we added to the array, so the size should be 2. Let's run this application and see. And you can see animal with height 8 is in the list, so this executed correctly. It did find animal with size 8, or this particular object. And the size of array list is 2. Let's see. Let's also take a look at the for loop. Here is an example where the loop is controlled with counter. So this integer is the counter, equals to 0, the starting point of this counter. Then we set the condition while it's I is less than animal size, which is 2, then continue going inside the loop and do something. And then we increment I by 1 each time it goes in. So animal get, and then we have to provide the index to retrieve the value. And on what this will give us animal back. And then on that animal, we can call variable height to get the value that is stored in it. Let's run it and see what it's going to print. So you can see that it's displaying 8 and 9. So 8 was the value that we populated at index 0, even though it was the second one populated, but we pushed it at position 0, which moved this to position 1. That's why you see 9, animal with height 9 as second element. All right, I also wanted to show you here that if we do it without counter, if we use this method get without counter, it's going to print like so. Let's run it. Let me add new line here. Okay, you can see it's printing 8. So at position 0, we have animal with height 8. All right. Next, I want to show you how to use for loop, which we looked already over here in the second method that we have, display. We just need to call it. So to call that method display, we're passing animals to it and a message. Let's run it. And you can see both loops are working the same way. The enhanced for loop or the for loop with a counter. So next I want to show you some other examples of methods on ArrayList. So here we have, first we're adding 2 more animals. Let's add 2 more animals, actually 3. So I'm adding animal with height 5 2 times. And I'm adding animal with height 1 as well. So actually it's 3 new animals. Let's run it. So, and we can see here that we have 3 new animals. Besides this 8 and 9, there is also 5, 5, 1. Okay, but now that we have these extra animals, we can remove some of them to practice method remove. So here is a method remove, and we are removing first element or element at position at index 1 from the animals array list. So at position 1 we have animal with height 9, so that's the one that we expect to remove. Let's run it and see. Okay, so the last line is showing us the remove second animal from the list. It has height 9, and yes, that's what happened. We don't see animal with height 9 anymore. So next I want to add another method remove, or show you how else you can use remove method. So here I have animals and I call remove method on it, and I'm passing the object that I want to get removed. So it will remove only first instance of that object. In this case the object has height 5, so that's the one that I expect to be removed, but only the first one. You can see there are 2 of them, so only one of them should be removed. Let's run it to see how it's working. And you can see one item with height 5 is removed. Alright, that's all for array lists. You can see example here of passing array list to a method. You can see example of enhanced for loop. You can also see example here how to remove a specific index or how to remove specific object from array list. You can see how to get value at specific index. How method size works, that you can get the size of the array, and you can see also how to use contains method to check if object is in the list.